2023. Please welcome the High Commissioner of India to Singapore, Dr. Shilpak Ambule. Please. And with that, let the game begin.
All right, moves are on the board. Gukesh starting the last game in this 3-game series with the white pieces before the next rest day, and 1d4 is on the board. Artur, I will hand it over to yourself and Anish for this. Let's take a look. Are we going to get what we wanted in the pre-show?
Thank you, John. So my first thoughts, actually, as soon as I saw the ceremonial move, Anish, I had a feeling that this is going to be the game, how it's going to continue. So e4, we already saw a couple of French defenses in the previous games, but then you've got to make the ceremonial move. What's the custom thing? It's like you have a special guest who's coming, who is about to execute this ceremonial move. Do they ask you for an advice, what kind of move to make, or it's like a random thing?
Yeah, that's also a little awkward, honestly. First of all, sometimes I'm not sure if this guest knows how the pieces move. So I'm a little afraid to say, surprised me with the other move during a blitz game, which was somewhat unpleasant at the time because I didn't expect that to happen. And then I learned that actually that's a normal custom. And now you see different results. I've had a lot of good memories, also a lot of bad ones as well. I think in his best tournament,
the lead early on, and there were very, very few experts who actually predicted that it might be Ding who is going to start with the victory in the
house. And you mostly look at things that are nobody is prepared. So you took
b-takes on c
on the c file and also knight g5 sometimes. After knight c5, knight g5, maybe, you know, this somewhere, not maybe mid, because you have a guy who plays fast all the time. I don't think I walk much when I play Nepo. I don't get to walk much. It's usually my move, so I have to sit down. But if I play Grishuk, if you don't walk, I mean, you're going to fall asleep at the board. So,
yeah, speaking about it, knight b6 is played. Look at that. Makes perfect sense, right? I mean, bishop a5, he is following.
Yeah. No, this is our line.
He's following this idea, pinning a lot of pieces here. Now I think that Gukesh might have some choices, but if we go back a move before this d-takes on c4, also knight takes on c4 was
like he appeared suddenly like he is upset, but actually it was just he was just back and thought. He was reconfirming. He already a6. Did he put it on a6? Okay, in the game against me that he played amazing. And I remember in the opening, he was shaking his head a little bit. He was because he sort of needs the time to accept that game is going to be a draw. And there's no last trap. Will he take with the rook or the queen? But he's had so much time to think about it that there's no way he falls for it.
Double exclaim move. Look at that.
Yeah, I think the feature must have been programmed in a way where you sacrifice a temporary sacrifice of a piece gets you a double exclam.
This was bishop c5, queen c5, captures rook c6, captures here g5, king g2, and we are rapidly approaching the move 40 mark. At least from my understanding is that there's like a common feeling between both players is that the game is heading to a draw, and usually in this position when you have... That's an interesting way.
Okay, he's doing your thing. Well, I don't think the bishop is better on d3 than it was on c6, because on c6 it was cutting all the squares from the knight. I don't think it's an improvement to white's position. I think I also found it very, very pleasing somehow, especially since I won in the end. So yeah, it can be. I think if the accuracy score is also matching your own feeling, that was a good game. It's pleasant, but sometimes so. I guess maybe he's, knight d7 feels really right. Yeah, knight d7 was played.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many ways to try and repeat. Like bishop e4, knight f6 is one very, very tempting way. I think they should find each other here. They try to signal with the body language that they don't want to... Yeah, I saw f4. Yeah, I saw f4. I was thinking about it, that he might do it. But I don't know. Will Ding go like h4? rules. So I'm gonna play all the games to the end, just so you know. That put a bit of pressure on Vishy, like, okay, there's not gonna be a easy. And Topalov also, he played out all the games. Like, he would not repeat moves. He would just play them out. He would trade everything. But Gukesh, by the way,
You wanted to give up the idea rook takes on d3 and knight b3
yeah,
4.
exactly. Yeah. I wanted to show a cheapo. Yeah, he does this king of 2 king of 3. Yeah.
Okay, now Gukesh is trying already agree to a draw here. But in one of the post-game interviews, he said, I think the question was about his fighting spirit, and Gukesh answered, I just like to play chess. Like,
Queens around. But somehow he kept chasing my king, and I was looking, there was no perpetual at all. But somehow my king came somewhere, which assisted the stalemate in a certain way. And then my 2 queens and the king.
he was like thinking to play out the same game like it's going to happen under my terms, and now it's suddenly Ding, right? So this game normally at any highest level tournament should have been finished like about half an hour ago, and yet it still continues. Yet it's Ding who pushes here with king g6.
Probably some moderately strong players draw them all day long as well. I'm looking at this position thinking it's completely drawn until I get given the white pieces or until I get given the black pieces. There are still ways to mess this up. Situations where none of us can step away from the chair to get ourselves a coffee. I'm so sorry, Artur, but to be fair, a lot of moves are being played now, and it does actually look like we're liquidating to a draw. So back over to you guys.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit disappointed by this choice that Ding decided not to seek out the chances, even though objectively, of course, as Anish said, the margin for the draw there, John, is really huge. But if you already got to this position where there's suddenly some realistic ideas to create chances, there, I think we're about to see the handshake in a moment. Right at this very moment, Ding, when he achieved something, he liquidates into a draw. Anish, what do you make of that?
He didn't see f5. I honestly tell you, it's a very counterintuitive idea to me. But I really, really liked it. And I'm very annoyed from like a sort of. I was really interested in the rook endgame. I was really into it. I was really ready to look at it with you. I wanted to find the draw after f5. Like, I want to find a nice clean draw. And somehow they ruined that for me. Now we are off and the game is over. I think it was a very interesting idea, f5. I think he missed it altogether. It seems shutting off your own king, but actually h-pawn is a little vulnerable. And I think it would ask him a nice question. It would ask Gukesh a nice question. He was for sure draw. But I would like to see how, actually. I would have liked to see how. It was not so obvious to me, suddenly.
Yeah, I also indeed think so. So this f5 idea going after the pawn on h3 was still giving some chances, but still overall I think it was a pretty nice game, and this endgame added some extra flavor to the game, which feel to be like a complete draw. And then again, it just proves that things are not really so simple in these highly technical positions. And at some point, Ding already made me believe that he can pull it off. But okay, draw is good.
I've deliberately undermined ad guide. Not a problem. We